I feel like it is fitting that I selected AJ Styles because as of this Friday or as of this morning, it was reported that AJ will be missing 6 to 8 weeks due to his broken ankle. Again, as we reported yesterday, AJ is not going to be requiring surgery, but with or without surgery, AJ will still be missing 6 to 8 weeks because that is the proper amount of recovery time expected and needed for a broken ankle. So that does mean, in fact, that AJ Styles is out as far as the Royal Rumble match. And puts his return sometime in mid-February, with WrestleMania being in early April. It is wearing thin on the idea of AJ Styles being in a featured role at the Showcase of the Immortals on April 1st or April 2nd. It is unfortunate that AJ was injured, which AJ was injured during an intergender tag team match at the Madison Square Garden show on December the 26th. I believe the match also included Carl Anderson, Mia Yim, Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest. I mean, all I know with AJ Styles is AJ has said on multiple occasions that when the time comes, he'll know, and that he will be, that he is wrapping up his career at some point, and that he wants to wrap up his career whenever that time comes in WWE. He does not want to return to Ring of Honor. He doesn't want to go All Elite. He doesn't want to return to Impact. He doesn't want to go back to New Japan. Whenever the time comes for him to retire and hang up the boots for the last time, he wants to be a part of WWE. That's it. There's no other company he wants to work for. There's no other place he wants to go other than WWE. As far as WrestleMania is concerned, I do recollect that I most likely did not mention AJ Styles in the WrestleMania predictions a few months ago. Because honestly, I didn't really think that AJ Styles would be in a featured role at WrestleMania. Not because AJ doesn't deserve a featured spot at WrestleMania. It is more just because AJ's been feuding with Finn Balor for the last couple of months. AJ's been feuding with Finn the last couple of months. And just really has not been in a featured spot. Again, I think AJ would be one of the many people to benefit from WWE splitting up the world titles again. But that's just me. I think he would insanely benefit because then he could actually be in a world title position again. As AJ has seemingly been keeping himself busy since his feud with Omos wrapped up as, a placeholder in the United States title picture. And just AJ has been keeping himself busy for the most part, through the entirety of 2022. But, you do have to wonder, if AJ is out of the Royal Rumble, who's going to take his spot? And also, the Royal Rumble is something we will talk about later in the month, as Royal Rumble talk is always one of my favorite conversations. It's always puzzling when that happens. But speaking of SmackDown, Batista was at SmackDown recently. It was said that Batista, the only reason why Batista was at SmackDown was because, well, he was visiting his friends. That's pretty much it. That he was just visiting people. As everybody knows, Batista, or as most people know, Batista was in a retirement match a few years ago with Triple H. And I do believe, in my opinion, that Dave, of all people, really has no interest in coming back to the ring, and that he has no problem with the retirement being a firm retirement, because, well, I just believe that Batista is happy in retirement. Being honest with you, I do believe that Batista's happy in retirement, and I don't think Batista would go back on his word as far as wrestling retirements go and come back to the ring. I really don't think Batista has any interest or desire in coming back to the ring. But that's just me. But it's always good to see legends backstage visiting their friends, whomever the legend might be. And now we jump over to WrestleMania. With WrestleMania, news of WrestleMania, news of things happening at WrestleMania will be present until WrestleMania. And then news following WrestleMania will be present after WrestleMania. But Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey has been the rumored match for WrestleMania since last year. But now the rumor has it that WWE is going to go in a different direction. The rumor has it that WWE is going to go in a different direction, with Ronda Rousey just losing her Women's Championship on SmackDown to Charlotte Flair on the final episode of SmackDown of 2022. The question then became, well, what happens with Ronda at WrestleMania? As of right now, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer has no idea what's going to happen with Ronda or Becky at WrestleMania. And it is still early, so there really isn't, it isn't necessarily a surprise that Big Dave does not know what's going to happen with Becky or Ronda at WrestleMania. But with the fact that Charlotte Flair is now the Women's Champion, you would figure that Charlotte would be in a prominent position at the Showcase of the Immortals. But also, if you think about it, Becky and Ronda are still on separate shows, with Becky being on Raw and Ronda being on SmackDown. I know, as far as the brand split is concerned, WWE hasn't really given the brand split the time of day as much since Triple H took over. But the fact of the matter is, that does not mean, in my opinion, the brand split does not really apply to this, because WWE has always given WrestleMania as the exception for matches between Raw and SmackDown superstars. So the match could still happen with WrestleMania being the exception, but right now the match seems to be dead. The only question that does persist is what happens between Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch, or what happens for them at WrestleMania if they're not competing against one another. And the question is, would Ronda Rousey even be competing for a title? Same with Becky. Do they need championships at this point? I guess we will find out more on that front as we get closer to the Royal Rumble and find out who could be winning the Women's Royal Rumble this year and headed to WrestleMania to face either Bianca Belair or Charlotte Flair. But either way, these have been my thoughts on wrestling. We will have another news video to come, and I will see you then. because I'm signing off for now, and I will see you in the next video.